I'm going to be honest, I was hoping to take the night off streaming today, and then some bullshit awards known as the NFL awards came out, and now we've got to stream that shit. Before we get to that, in baseball, Tariq Skubal won his arbitration case, winning $32 fucking million. It's the most ever granted in a goddamn arbitration case. Now let's get right to it. If I agree with an award, we're not going to go in depth about it. So let's start with the Defensive Player of the Year. Well, I mean, that clearly went to Myles Garrett, who had 23 sacks this season, setting a new NFL record. It's well deserved. I have no arguments here. That's all I got to say about it. One of the Cleveland Browns players that's good. Sage says, got to take a piss. And to BRB. Okay, he wants to hear Myles Garrett get a fucking encore, I guess. Let's see if there's anything else to go over before we get to the fucking awards, because our wrench needs to take a fucking piss. Son of a fucking bitch, man. Okay. All right, Sage, please, take your time. We're not live or anything like that. Just, take your time. Make sure you dribble out every fucking drop. Just a little dribble drabble. All right, I'm going to have to restart this over. All right, Sage, thank you for, being relatively quick about that. All right, first and foremost, as I already said, but I'll say it again because that's why Sage went to take his piss. Defensive Player of the Year went to Myles Garrett. I don't think you're going to get anyone that argues against that. If you do, they're pretty fucking stupid. Myles Garrett had 23 sacks this year, setting a new NFL record. And, a pretty fucking dominant player. Let's just move off of that. And a player that I drafted and traded away has won Offensive Rookie of the Year. That player being Tet McMillan, who was drafted by the Carolina Panthers, I believe, 10th or 12th overall, maybe 9th, somewhere in that 9 to 12 range. I think it was 9 or 10. He had 70 catches on the year for 1,014 yards and 7 touchdowns. I mean, if you're a rookie throwing up 1,000 yards, that's certainly huge. It does help him, though, that there was no other targets around. I did not know this was an award. Joe Tooney got Protector of the Year award, awarded to, I guess, the best offensive lineman. My only problem with this is he is a left guard, and your premier player on the offensive line is a left tackle. So I'm going to say, yeah, I'm sure he was definitely great at establishing the run for the Bears, helping them establish a run, but he's a guard. I would never give it to a guard. It should be a left tackle, and that's all I'm going to say about that. Christian McCaffrey won the NFL Comeback Player of the Year. It feels like if he's getting the NFL Comeback Player of the Year this year, he should be getting it every second year. Because every second year it's just kind of, I've got my Achilles tendonitis. I fucking tore my ACL. Oh, my fucking ankle sprained. Every year is something with this kid, and I'll never show him the respect that he may be due, because he absolutely screwed me over when he was with the Panthers after probably his best season of his career. Now, 413 touches is a damn lot, so look for his body to break down next year. At 102 receptions, 2,126 scrimmage yards, and 17 total touchdowns. I mean, he deserved it, but I mean, he'll injure himself next year, and that'll be that. Now, this one here is a bit different because I think there was probably, I'd say, 4 players or 4 coaches that could have won this award, and I wouldn't have had a problem with any of them. Mike Vrabel does win Coach of the Year. The Patriots last year finished 4-13, and this year finished 14-3. So definitely a solid pick, I would say. Patriots offensive coordinator Josh McDaniels was named Assistant Coach of the Year. I don't necessarily agree with that. I get Drake May did his thing, but maybe it's just because Drake May is a stud. Because it's funny with Josh McDaniels, every time he gets hired to be a head coach, he's garbage, When he's had good quarterbacks, a la Drake May and Tom Brady, then yeah, he's had success. I could fucking coach Tom Brady. I'd say, Tom, just call whatever the fuck you want. Is it really that difficult to be a fucking offensive coordinator for guys that are studs? I wouldn't say so. But, it's just a reminder of what a shitty organization the Tennessee Titans are for letting Mike Vrabel get away. Now he's going to win a Super Bowl. Could have been with the Titans, but, they're just probably the worst run franchise in the league. I'd say they're probably worse run than the fucking New York Jets. I'd like to spit in the face of the owner of the Titans. Just a terrible team. They'll never get back on track. They are the worst of the worst, and they're going to be stuck there for fucking ever. Now, I did say there was other coaches that I feel like were deserving of this award. Before I get to that, we've got a comment from an irate viewer. I need to get to this comment right now. Brother, you got first rounded and haven't seen a Super Bowl appearance since 2009. Shut your trap. Technically, we won that Super Bowl in 2010, and you've never won a Super Bowl. So please, don't talk to me about the cheese, okay? Don't talk to me about the cheese of the Packers, okay? Shut the fuck up, respectfully. Now, you could have gone in a couple different directions. Now, for me, if I'm kind of looking at the coaches that deserve to be there, I'm going to say Ben Johnson probably deserves to be there, though he was coming to a pretty talented team. The Bears had a losing record last year, and they went on and had a very good win, a very good season, winning the NFC North and winning a playoff game. Not that the playoffs matter in the context of who wins Coach of the Year. I'd also say Liam Cohen, another team that did not win last year, had an 11-4 record this year, won the, or not 11-4, but what the fuck was their record? He was better than 11-4. They got that one wrong there on AI. Anyway, he turned Lawrence around, I would say, and he actually did his fucking job. So for me, the 3 I would pick from would be Mike Vrabel, Ben Johnson, and Liam Cohen. I get that there's love out there for Mike McDonald, but they had a pretty solid team in Seattle, and they went 14-3. So I wouldn't have considered him for Coach of the Year, and I absolutely wouldn't have considered Kyle Shanahan for Coach of the Year. They've got talent, even though they got injured. They do got some talent on the team, but I mean, you could pretty much put Kyle Shanahan there every year if you wanted, or Sean McVay, but I feel like the big ones that kind of proved it this year are the ones that had shitty teams the year before. So Liam Cohen, Ben Johnson, and Mike Vrabel were the absolute best for me. But let's keep it moving. Sage is just over there spewing venom. We don't need to pay attention to that. Offensive Player of the Year went to Jackson Smith and Jigba, I would say, very deserving of winning the award. Had 1793 yards this year, leading the league, 15.1 yards per reception, 10 touchdowns as well in 17 games. The only the one argument you could make, maybe Christian McCaffrey, but he didn't run the ball well this year. Let's be real. So I would not have gone Christian McCaffrey, and they gave him that comeback player of the year bullshit because, you know why? Because, it's like just a little consolation prize for him there. But Puka Nacua led the league in receptions, 129, 80 first downs, which led the league, 1,715 yards, and 10 touchdowns. Now, he started 15 games and played in 16 total, so technically the yards per game do favor Puka Nacua. You could kind of go with either of these guys. The only argument I would have against Nacua, potentially, is he does have a better quarterback than Sam Darnold. I do want to just check and see if I can quickly get the amount of targets that both these guys had. And the targets are 163 for Jackson Smith and Jigba and 166 for Puka Nacua. So, I mean, pretty much the same. So, I mean, I'd say this is close to a tie. I can't say that they got it wrong. I'm just saying either of these guys would have been a great pick there. And finally, to round out the NFL awards, we did have a very close affair between Matthew Stafford and Drake May. Drake May finished second. He needed one more first place vote, so I don't know how this works out. There must be 47 people voting or some shit. But Drake May, that's weird. Let me just see here. Blah, 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 blah. So Stafford narrowly beats him. So he had 24 first place votes to Drake May's 23. So apparently they got a point system. Matthew Stafford scored 366 in the voting to Drake May's 361. It is the closest since Steve McNair and Peyton Manning back in the 2003 season when they had to share the award. The big news here is Stafford did close his acceptance speech by saying that he will be returning to play again in 2026. Now, what does the tail of the tape look like when you kind of put these guys up against each other? Matt Stafford wins, obviously, the yards. He had the most of anyone. Had the most first downs, the most touchdowns with 46. Just trying to see what the rating was. Rating of 109.2. So, it's a pretty good year. I wouldn't say it's overly great, though, compared to some of the years I've seen with Peyton Manning and, Aaron Rodgers. But, that's neither here nor there. I'm just going to see what we have. How many interceptions? You got 8. So 46-8 for the touchdown to interception ratio. For Drake May, led the league in completion percentage, 72. 4,400 yards to Stafford's 4,700. 31 touchdowns, 8 interceptions, so same amount. The yards per throw, very high, 8.9 per attempt, I mean. So that is how much higher than Matt Stafford? That's a yard higher. A rating of 113.5, which led the league. A QBR of 77.1, which led the league. Took 47 sacks. I'm just trying to see if I can quickly get some of the rushing stats here. They don't put it together very nicely. And you're adding 450 rushing yards and 4 touchdowns. So, I think there's a case to be made that Drake May deserved to win, even though the touchdowns do favor Matt Stafford drastically. Stafford has the weapons. Drake May doesn't necessarily have those weapons. Offensive line, I would say, also goes to the Rams as well. So I think you could probably Drake May could win this award and probably should have won the award if you look at the attempts. I mean, you're looking at, 492 attempts to 597. So, of course, you're going to, accrue a bunch more stats yards-wise when you've thrown the ball 150 times or more than the other guy. Yeah, I kind of think it should be Drake May, given the talent that's around him. I think, yeah, you could argue easier schedule for sure, but I'm not sure. I'm not sure. If you're just kind of grinding out the numbers a little bit, we'll see. What were the fumbles at? If we really want to get down to it, you can only play who you can play, Sage. They don't make it very easy on baseball or football reference to find the fumbles. I'm going to tell you that right now. The fumbles should be a lot easier to see. Arizona sucks, though. But yeah, so do the Jets. The Bills are good. The Dolphins were pretty okay, just an okay team. San Fran was not a team that was very hard to pass against, though. San Fran's defense was not very good this year. I'm just saying that right now. I don't know. I think the reason Matt Stafford gets it for a tiebreaker is probably because he's been a top quarterback before and he's never won it. That would be my guess. I would like to find out the fumbles, and I cannot find the fumbles, so I want to find that out. How many fumbles did Drake May have in 2026? Because this does not factor into quarterback ranking. I got to put 2025. So 8 fumbles, 3 were lost. The loss doesn't necessarily matter, though. A fumble's a fumble. And Matthew Stafford had 7, so pretty even there. So just basically the same amount of turnovers by both guys. But you would expect Drake May to have more fumbles, though, or more interceptions if you pass the ball a bit more. So I'm not really sure. It's a close one for sure. Now, but we'll have to see what Drake May does next year, I guess, with a harder schedule. I guess that's the jury's still out on him there. But it's kind of crazy when you look at Matt Stafford's year this year, 46 touchdowns. Last year, 20 touchdowns in a lousy season. So what a difference a fucking year can make. And actually, Stafford, if we want to be real, hasn't been a great quarterback in a long time. 2024, 93.7 rating. 2023, 92.5 rating. 2022, 87.4 rating. And 2021 was his last great year before this one at 102.9. So kind of crazy. I didn't know he was that bad for that long. Not that it's bad. I'm just saying it's really not that good, if we're being honest with each other. And yeah, I agree. Drake May had the easiest schedule ever, and Seattle is tough, but I don't know. What do you guys think? Who should have won the MVP? Let us know in the goddamn comment section, okay? We're closing up shop, okay? I need to get the hell out of here. We will be back potentially tomorrow. If there's no news, then we won't be. But we'll definitely come back for our Super Bowl predictions Saturday night. And then we'll have to come back Sunday night for, obviously, to declare the winner of Super Bowl 60 in Santa Clara. All right, guys. Have a good night. Sage, don't be firing fucking coaches of the year ever again, okay, bud?